Okay, so my opinion segment. This is going to be in my opinion segment, but it's not really an opinion. It's more like inside the world of wrestling. So this is inside the mind of a head booker, the art of long-term storytelling, part one: building motivation, conflict, and future moments. Ever wondered how your favorite TV show builds those epic rivalries or delivers shocking plot twists season after season? It's not magic, it's a meticulously planned strategy by head writers. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the art of long term storytelling, revealing the precise booking decisions that shape character arcs and orchestrate those pivotal, unforgettable moments. Starting today and for the next few weeks, I am making a series of opinion segments about booking storylines. We will break down what truly goes into crafting those unforgettable arcs, the slow burns, the twists, the payoff moments, and the rivalries that keep fans invested. We're pulling apart the strategy, the psychology, and the careful planning behind world class booking and looking at how great storytellers turn simple ideas into epic, season spanning narratives. This week, we're breaking down the earliest stages of any great storyline. We'll explore the why, that first spark that hooks an audience, the who, the initial character sketch that shapes motivations, flaws, and voice, and the what if, the early conflict brainstorming that plants the seeds of long term payoffs. And throughout the episodes, I'll pull from my own experiences as a booker, the choices I've made, the mistakes, the surprises, and the strategies I've learned from building characters from the ground up. Let's dive into the foundation of powerful storytelling where every great angle truly begins. Every long term storyline begins the same way, not in front of the crowd, not in the ring, but in the mind of the booker. Before the promos, before the rivalries, before the big match graphic hits social media, everything starts with a spark. A single idea that feels alive. And today we're talking about how that spark grows into a story that the audience can't help but follow. But before diving to the framework, the why, the who, the what if, I want to take you back to my early booking days. Well, my late booking days. Because my philosophy didn't come from theory, it came from necessity, frustration, and a desire to turn something flat into something fans would feel. When I started wrestling in a promotion based out in Lachine, Quebec, the product had good wrestling, solid in ring work, talented performers, plenty of potential, but the booking was what you'd call spot show booking. You'd go to a show, enjoy it, and leave. But there wasn't a hook that pulled you back for the next time. There were no compelling storylines, no threads connecting shows together, nothing for fans to follow across multiple events. And for me, that was a huge missed opportunity. Wrestling is an episodic medium, it thrives on anticipation. Fans want to feel like they're watching a world that keeps moving forward. So when I agreed to wrestle there, I did it under one condition. I would book my own storyline for the first 2-3 shows. Not because I needed creative control for ego reasons, but because I knew the product needed more narrative glue, something that would make fans say, I need to see what happens next. I even offered to help with the booking for the entire federation to elevate the overall storytelling, and they accepted to give me the booking duties for the whole federation after 2 months. But my debut, I wanted it to be more than just another match. No entrances, no lockups, no pinfall. Just a statement. So on night one, as a heel, I attacked one of the promotion's top 3 baby faces. A personal trainee of mine, someone I knew could sell the emotion, someone the fans respected, and after his match, I destroyed him, left him laid out, and grabbed the mic. My promo was simple but powerful. I told him that as my pupil, I expected better, that the company he kept, his allies, his choices were beneath what I had trained him to be. And in 2 weeks, I'd do it again, and again, and again, until he learned the difference between loyalty and weakness. No match for me that night. Just a hook, just a spark. And the reaction from the fans who came back next show proved something. Wrestling without story is just moves. But wrestling with story, that's magic. Now, with that foundation, let's break down the creative process behind moments like this. The philosophy behind building arcs that last months instead of minutes. 1. The why. The emotional reason a story exists. Before designing a character or booking a segment, I always start with one question. Why should the audience care? This is the core of good storytelling. In my Lachine debut, the why was crystal clear. I wanted the reason for fans to come back in 2 weeks. I wanted to establish myself instantly as a threat. And most importantly, I wanted to create a personal grudge fans could emotionally connect to. The why gives weight to every choice that comes later. It doesn't matter how good the moveset is, how charismatic the performer is, or how flashy the angle looks. If the audience doesn't understand why the story matters, it won't stick. The why is the seed that creates longevity. 2. The who, the character blueprint. After identifying the why, the next question is, who is this character really? Not just a gimmick, the person. When I crafted the heel persona for my debut, I knew exactly who I was. A bitter mentor who believes their trainee has strayed. Someone who sees themselves as the higher standard. Someone who uses emotional manipulation and violence to teach lessons. A character built on pride, frustration, and superiority. And because I knew that, I also knew my trainee was, in this story, a respectful babyface, someone torn between loyalty and self-worth, and a wrestler the fans could rally behind after being humiliated publicly. Before anything happens in the ring, the who gives structure to the story. It answers questions like, what motivates this character? What are their flaws? What do they want the most? What are they willing to sacrifice to get it? What emotional truth drives them? A strong who is what makes the audience say, I know this person, even though they're watching a scripted performance. 3. The what if, the engine of long-term storytelling. Once you know the why and the who, this is where the fun begins. What if? This is where long-term storytelling takes shape. What if is the sandbox of the booker's mind. For my Lachine storyline, the what ifs were everywhere. What if the trainee fights back too early and pays the price? What if he turns the tables months later with a surprise attack of his own? What if my character pushes him so far he has to transform, new gear, new attitude, new confidence? And we'll get to that. What if the fans demanding the payoff match louder and louder the heat show? What if transforms a single idea into a 6-month arc? It gives you room to explore, adapt, and let performers grow into the story. And here's the most important secret. You don't need to know the ending right away. You just need to plant the seeds with potential. That's how stories gain momentum. When you combine these three elements, the why, the who, and the what if, you get the foundation of any great storyline. Whether it's wrestling, TV writing, or any long-form narrative, these principles hold true. My time booking and Lachine taught me something I still believe in today. Moves entertain the eyes, stories capture the heart, and the spark, that tiny moment of inspiration, is where it all begins. And that brings us to next week's episode of Inside the Mind of a Booker, of a head booker, where we move from the spark of an idea to the people who bring that idea to life. Stay tuned. The creative journey is just getting started.